Okay, now we're going to deal with number 54, and this presents a little bit different situation than we had with 48 and 50 in that you now have the entire fraction in parentheses and then a negative exponent out in on the outside the parentheses. So we're going to get our thing here. Okay, so obviously there are several ways you could do this. I'm just going to present one way at this point, and let's go ahead, as we did before, let's get rid of the parentheses first. So in order to get rid of the parentheses, then that means that we want to take this exponent out here and apply it to every factor in the numerator and the denominator. So the thing to remember is that just because this is a negative, it doesn't change its properties. If you had a 3 up here, you would apply it to every single one of these factors on the numerator and denominator. So and now that it's negative, you still do the same thing. So we're going to take this 2 as the first factor, and the 2, we're going to raise that to the -1 power. And then here's a to the -2, so we're going to multiply the -2 times the -1, which makes a be a positive 2 exponent. b to the 4th, so we're going to raise that to the -1 power. -1 times 4 is -4. And then we have c squared, so 2 to the times -1 is -2. Okay, and then we go down here to the bottom and we have a -4, and that -4 is going to be raised to the -1 power. So we put it in parentheses because we want the -1 to act on the it's got to act on everything in the denominator, so it's got to act on the -4, not just the 4. And so we got to do the parentheses. A to the -2, -2 times -1 is a squared. B to the -5, so -5 times -1 is 5. So b to the 5th. And then c to the -7th, -7 times -1 is positive 7. Okay, so you got rid of your parentheses, except for down here. We'll take care of that later. So now let's get rid of the negative numbers. So first get rid of parentheses, then get rid of negative numbers. It's typically a good way to go. So now the negative exponents, not numbers. Negative exponents is what we got to get rid of. So we're going to take each of these factors and decide whether they stay or go to the other side. So 2 to the -1, that's a negative exponent. So it's going to go on. I'm having trouble with these lines. So it's going to go on the denominator and become positive. So 2 to the 1. And then a squared stays because it's a positive exponent. B to the -4 is negative exponent, so it comes down to the denominator and becomes positive. C to the -2, that is negative exponent, so it comes to the other side, to the denominator, becomes positive. Now we go down here and we go from left to right again. So the -1 to the -4 to the -1 power, negative exponent, so this has got to go to the other side and become -4 and make it to the +1 exponent. Okay. Then we have a squared, and that's going to stay where it is. It's on the denominator. So I got this a little bit too close, so this was not good. So a squared stays in the denominator. B to the 5th stays in the denominator, and c to the 7th stays in the denominator because they're all positive exponents. Okay, so now you have got rid of all the negative exponents and the parentheses. And so now you can start taking care of business here. So we have the negative 4 to the 1 power, which is really just, again, we're going to take the coefficients and we'll bring them out here to the side. So you see this. Negative 4 to the 1 power is just negative 4. And in the denominator we have a 2. So again, what would you do if this was by itself? And of course that would equal a negative 2. So what's going to replace that fraction, or that negative 1 or negative 4 over 2, is going to be a negative 2. That replaces it. Okay, so we've taken care of this and this. The a squared, which I actually could have canceled out up here. That'd be a great move right there, just to cancel it out. But now I've got it here, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel it out now. So I have a squared and this a squared, which just cancel out. There's nothing left on the top, so everything on the bottom. Now we can simplify that. You have b to the 4th. Is there another b? Yes. So we can add the exponents because we're multiplying powers. So this becomes b to the 9th. Okay, then you've got your c squared, and there is another c. So we multiply power, so we add exponents. So we have b to the 9th, or c to the 9th. And there you go. You've got negative 2 over b to the 9th, c to the 9th, and that is your final answer.